Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, everybody. This is my update 1.5. So, 1.5 years since my first video. Um, I'm not nervous about making a video. It's more just a time thing at this point. I gotta do some things. Lady waiting on me and all kind of things. But I want to get through this. I gotta get through this. Today is October 21st. I think the last one was October 22nd a year ago. So, so I told myself Easter 2018 is around that time is when you got the call to service or to do work. And it's October 2019 right now. And I looked at the video from that time. To me, it did look like I was in somewhat of a physical and mental decline. But I do think that looking back, everything happens for a reason, and you on the right track as of right now, personally. We wanted to mention following Malcolm's footsteps. So if you read the autobiography of Malcolm X, there's two men that he mentions in the first chapter and the last chapter. There's only two men that he mentions at those two times, which I think are critical times. One is his father, and the other is Marcus Garvey. So I think I'll explain this more, inshallah, if I have more time. But trying to finish what I think Malcolm would have done and would have been able to accomplish if his father hadn't been killed. I think his father was grooming him to be a Garveyite. And I personally just think that, and I don't know if I feel like I said this before, personally feel like Malcolm had a problem with the word Negro. So that was a thing keeping him from pushing the red, black, and green. But I take care of that for him. Goal again, goal is to create leaders and not followers. So this video is not about, I appreciate fanfare and all of that, but it's at the end of the day, it's about creating other leaders that would follow in the footsteps of these great men that I speak of, and great women, obviously. Want to give an update on the Omega approach. So I need to finish Malcolm. That's gonna be the first one, and I already know the general topic of it. I'm already reading Up from Slavery, which is probably a bad idea because before I did the Omega review of Malcolm, I wanted to finish the book completely. So epilogue and whatever what's his name was talking about, Ozzie Davis. Wanted to go over those chapters. So until then, let me see. Yeah, until then, I'm not gonna do it. So, but I know the concept of it is gonna be the four deaths of Malcolm. So, Up from Slavery, around chapter 3 right now. Trying to get chapter 3, chapter 4, and the goal of what the Omega project is supposed to be, or the Omega approach is supposed to be, is being able to deconstruct anything. So any books or any information like that, you can break it down and regurgitate it to our people in a way in which we can understand it. And the goal with this would obviously, the goal thus far is the Bible and the Quran, being able to break it down and explain those texts. Mention adding Division 421 logo. So bottom corner over here, I think it pops up the logo for the division. Just to support them, give some advertisement. I'm still working with them, and just advertisement. So strength through. Want to talk about developing strength through submission. So, never been a big talker or teacher or leader personally. Never thought of myself that way, but in the position that I'm in, one thing I said is one thing I wrote is the president of Division 421, Ross Marvin. He's like myself, so he's naturally introverted and naturally shy. So me as a lieutenant, basically, Whatever he asked me to do, I kind of step up and do it. No homo, nothing like that. But if he wants me to speak or be at an event or lead something, I don't really like it, but I'm willing to do it just to help him out. So me being able to submit to those roles and directions actually helps me develop those characteristics. So I think that's a good thing. I step into the spotlight to keep him comfortable. So to keep the president comfortable and safe. Like I said, he doesn't like the spotlight, so he prefers to stay in the background. I step up and take the spotlight for him. If he. Let's see. I wanted to acknowledge the comparison. Malcolm was the national spokesman for the NOI. As of right now, I'm the official representative for Division 421 and District 5. So any speeches or anything that we do, the president has asked me to do it. So that's a comparison. Working my way up. District 5 is South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So there are obviously still presidents in those states that can speak for themselves. But the president has given me the authority to speak for Division 421 and District 5. So 6-month update. 6-month update. Hope to do an update every 6 months, and that's why I'm doing it today. I really wasn't in the mood, honestly, but shut up. No need to talk about that. 6-month update. Hopefully be able to do it every 6 months, inshallah. You never know when it could be the last one, so got to put as much information out there for whoever comes behind. Still working on the study group, still doing the study group and engineering meeting. So I got an engineering meeting tomorrow. I've been doing that for probably a little over a year now. Every other Tuesday we have an engineering meeting. Then the opposite Tuesdays we have a study group. We finished reading Message to the People, and I actually got the right book. So if anybody was talking about me on the other one, yeah, it's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? It's got the right words. But we actually finished this, and we went into Race First. We're working on Race First right now. Let me get this book. Working on Race First as a study group, which is something I'm very excited about. I'm working on some things in the engineering group. Some of it's top secret, top level. But in general, I think of it as the modern day Underground Railroad. It's like we're building something that's kind of it's going to be good and beneficial for our people and very huge, but we're doing it in broad daylight. You know what I mean, and right in front of people's faces. So it's happening, but people not really seeing it. So it's kind of funny. But when it really does hit, people will be like, wow. But the thing is, like, even the oppressors or whatever, it's happening in front of their eyes as well, and nobody sees it yet. Wanted to highlight the teachers, which I think I did on one of the later videos, but I saw it in one of the earlier videos. I didn't mention Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark. I inserted my Amos Wilson, but I mentioned them later on. So, but those are when I talked about getting information from the conscious community. These are great leaders that have a lot of great speeches online that help me get to a level of where I am right now. Amos Wilson has been more recent. Dr. Ben was probably one of the first. Ivan Van Sertima early on. Actually, Ivan Van Sertima, I heard about him maybe 10 years ago, but just a little bit. But he came back around for me a few years ago. And then John Henry Clark has been very, very consistent, for me. The goal is always unity, and that's the number one aim. I had to criticize myself for my comments that I made against Dr. Umar or Sanetta and the work that they're doing. I felt like that was very naive, very young, immature, I guess, and irresponsible, especially in regards to position. So I disagree with those statements. I apologize if anybody was hurt or anything like that. But I definitely disagree with that. And our goal is unity. If anybody's doing anything positive, don't hate. You know what I mean? So I was wrong about that. I was raised in Hampton, Virginia, Booker T. Washington. I learned a lot about, I didn't learn about him when I was young, but I'm reading about him now. So I'm trying to finish his work as well. I feel like that's a part of the responsibility being from Hampton. Criticism. Oh yeah, I said that. The youth are not reading, so I got to make these videos. I hope other people step up and start doing it, but we have to make the information palatable and attractive for the youth. You know, like I don't think these books are intimidating to them. You know, for some reason, but they're very, you know, I don't know, they're kind of soft and easily afraid. So we kind of gotta. It's like you gotta eat the food and chew it up for them and give it back to them. New books. I wanted to talk about new books that I'm reading. I mentioned Art of War in a previous video. That's always a good book. So I got the audio. I'm trying to get back updated on that. I feel like as an organization, we're stuck on like chapter 1, chapter 2. You know what I mean? As far as things we need to do, things we need to work on. Wanted to mention that. So we got it's a certified Six Sigma Green Belt book. Got a Six Sigma test coming up, and I need to learn this anyway. So I got the book. You only read the first chapter. You really got nowhere. So look forward to getting through that. Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple. Working with my Moorish brothers. So I gotta, you know, be up to date on the information and understand what the Prophet taught. And I think this is one of their, you know, more important books. So you know, just gotta speak the language of the people. You know, you gotta approach people where they are. You know, if this is what they into, you know, I respect it. You know, and you're doing good things for the people. I'm with you. Nation of Islam Constitution, you know, Provisional Constitution, very good book. You know, organization, rights and responsibilities. I guess I'll put that out there. Nation of Islam social media guidebook. So getting ready to launch some, at least one social media site for the division. And I plan to implement a lot of information that they have in this book. This video getting long. Constitution of the UNIA. Any officer, member of the UNIA, you definitely need to get this and know the information and structure. This is a book I got recently. African-centered consciousness versus the New World Order, Garvey and the Age of Garveyism. So it's about Garvey. Well, at least that's what I got from it. That's what I got. Amos Wilson. And then the Big Daddy, Blueprint for Black Power. You know what I mean? Amos Wilson, gotta have that. So I finally got that. Looking forward to digging into that one. Pause. So those are the new books. I wanted to say that I'm not trying to define what's right. The goal is to provide clarity from my generation's perspective. So just a millennial black man in America, you know, born in the 80s, made it out, you know, went to school, trying to give back, and that's my perspective. Wanted to mention working with the Nation of Islam here in Atlanta. Shout out to Mosque 15 and Mosque 15B here in Atlanta. Moorish Science Temple of Atlanta, Temple 33 and Temple 19 here in Atlanta, doing work with these brothers. The United Sabaeans, I don't know their numbers, but they're out here, they're doing work. And I wanted to mention another book that I had read early, but I didn't ever mention, is Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. So that's a good book as well. I read that 10 years ago when I was, you know. But that kind of got me started. Then I kind of fell asleep and I re-woke back up. Just did engagement photos last week. You know what I'm saying? So got the big day coming up next year. I'll probably be, hopefully, inshallah, everything will be finished by then. January, March, April. I don't know. We'll see. I was going to talk about the link between the UNIA, Garvey, and the Red, Black, and Green, but I saw on my video my first speech on Garvey, Marcus Garvey, and the UNIA. I have it in there, so it shows the link between the UNIA, Garvey, and the Red, Black, and Green. Building organizations, unity, self-reliance, self-governance. That's what we all about. 3-step program for the collective Black people movement. Basically, our way to success is keep doing what you're doing if you're doing anything positive. That's step 1. Step 2 is support other individuals that are doing positive things. And step 3 is join the collective Black people movement. We have to organize and come together. So, I talked about a Black political or economic monolith. And I talked about the word monolith before. Yeah, we need a Black political or economic monolith that is focused and have the right mindset, right heart. Working on the Wakanda division of the CDPM, so more updates to that coming later. But we're trying to implement some technology that we have here in Atlanta, and see what we can do for our people throughout the world. One of the things you're looking at right now, well, I don't even know if I should say it because you ain't really. All right, but it's hydrogen and solar power. Seeing how if you can break up a water molecule to turn it into energy. We'll see. Always remember your audience. You talk to the future. You're not talking to nobody else, and you're talking to yourself. Still driving short on time, as you can see. Seriously considering 1 meal a day. I feel like I forgot about that since the time I wrote it and the time I read it. So the languages, Spanish, Arabic, and Hebrew, working on that. Haven't had as much time as before. Other than that, just trying to spend time with your lady. Work, save some money, stop working. But as far as organization, we uniting here in Atlanta. Like I said, those organizations that I mentioned, we got to show everybody else how to do it. Everybody else playing for some reason. Like, we like to talk about it, but we don't really like to do it. So I think it's a difference between soldiers and sympathizers. The soldiers are out there, they doing the work. A sympathizer says, like, I like what you're doing, but they're not trying to go out there with you. You know what I'm saying? So we got to know the difference between soldiers and sympathizers. But appreciate everybody for coming through. It's a long video. It's more than 15 minutes. It's wild. But ma'a salama. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Got more work to do. Got more reading to do. It's been fun. It's been real. I'll see y'all next time. Inshallah. Peace.